Hey y'all, this is Lashette from Scarlet Moon Creations in the video. This is my May recent reads where I talk about the books I read in the month of May. So we are getting back on track with my videos and how they're normally done, and also my reading. Though it wasn't too off track, to be perfectly honest. As a reminder, I now have a Patreon account, and the grapefruit tier is for exclusive bookish content, videos, and lives. So do check that out if you are interested in joining me, helping support my channel, and getting exclusive videos. So let's talk about the books I started reading. This month, I'm filming this on May 6th, and I have already finished 4 books. Yeah, things are going fast now. Alright, the first book I finished was volume 6 of the Apothecary Diaries. This is a manga series written by Natsuhyuga, art by Naoko Kuraje, compiled by Itsuki Nanao, and character design by Toru Shino. Obviously translated to English. There we go. Volume 6. So we're in the thick of a new story arc. The overarching story arc is we're following our main character, Mao Mao, who is the adoptive daughter of an apothecary, but due to circumstances, she works in the pleasure houses. And one day she is kidnapped and sold to be a maid or slave in the inner court of the emperor, and specifically his concubines. While she's there, several of the concubines are getting sick, and their babies are as well, and one dies. She sees this illness on somebody and correctly diagnose it, and quietly tries to help that person out. But one of the inner court officials, who she believes is a eunuch, tracks her down and asks for her help with a bigger plot. And when she is helpful, he installs her as a lady's maid for one of the concubines. Like I said, in the next story arc, this kind of ends on a cliffhanger, and I'm like, this is the problem with manga, right? So if you're not aware about how manga usually comes out, it's in like comic books, individual issues. So this is a bind up of four chapters. No, 1, 2, 3, 6 chapters. And usually manga, like, the chapters are in one issue. They come out in magazines individually. This series, however, was originally published as a light novel. So the mangaka didn't originally have artwork and all of that to flesh out every scene. A light novel is more text heavy. It's been put into a manga form, which I'm enjoying. I might do the light novels at some point. I don't know. But I'll go with this for now. This series is funny. Mao Mao is like a little sarcastic, a little oblivious because she thinks she's not good looking. In her head, she's always comparing herself to her sisters who are who work in the pleasure district. So she's shorter, her boobs are not all that big and whatnot. And she's not really interested in us. It doesn't seem. But this one dude is definitely interested in her and coming up with all these reasons to have her around. And now there's a creepy dude as well, and I don't know what's happening. This ended on a cliffhanger, and with this particular volume, the chapters didn't seem to go together until the end. They seemed like little vignettes of life going on, and then in that last chapter, it got through. I was like, okay. Even with that, the last chapter being that way, I felt like it could have been done better because it felt too disjointed before that. And that takes away from my enjoyment. It feels like a bunch of novellas. I don't love those because the stories are too short. But I'll let it go. I'll let it go for this. But not completely because I've rated it 4 stars. This could have been a 5 otherwise. Alright, the next book I finished was book 2 in the Rain Wild Chronicles quartet. The Rain Wild Chronicles by Robin Hobb. This is the 4th series in Robin Hobb's Realm of the Elderling series. And yeah, this is book 2 of 4 in the Rain Wild Chronicles. I gave this 4.5 stars. You and me are both surprised here. We should be if you've been following my journey through the realm of the Elderling. Rain Wild Chronicles, I am reading with Bethany from Book It's Bethany, Christy from Christy, and Jade from Bedtime Bookworm. We have our monthly live shows, and I will put a link in the description to the live discussion for this book. It's spoilers, so beware of that if you want to watch. I talked about how I didn't love the Live Ship Traders trilogy. I like the world and all the dragon stuff and the live ships and, you know, the traders councils and all that stuff. I enjoyed the people up to a point, and then I got sick of them. I was really hesitant going into the Rain Wild Chronicles, knowing we were coming back to this area of the world and everything, and this multi-POV type of book. But I was pleasantly surprised in Dragon Keeper, book 1 of this series, that I wasn't overwhelmed by the multiple POV point of view. Very interested in the serpents and the dragons and that kind of thing, and cautiously interested in this whole underhanded plan to get the dragons to Kelsingra. As I mentioned, I was dreading finishing that book towards the end because I felt like everybody was turning into a shitty person and I couldn't like anybody. Or there were two characters left for me by the end of that, and I was just like, I feel like they're going to do something shitty too, and that will be the end. So I wasn't even trusting my own self to like them. Pleasantly surprised by this. I liked pretty much the whole way through. We have a happy ending. It's pretty much a happy for now. I understand that, especially knowing there's 2 more books in this series. But yes, we pick up where we left off at the end of the previous book. Because remember, I said these were originally one book. Dragon Keeper, Dragon Haven, Robin Hobb originally wrote as one book, and the publisher was like, man, this is too long. So we're going to split it into 2. Understandable. It made it more digestible. I still listening to the audiobooks. This narrator, though, was different than my previous one. I think I like her a little bit better. Their voices are not that different to me. I'm not reading this. I'm reading this two times speed. So, but I felt like the biggest thing for me was like when the dragons are like Kelsingra. It's not as annoying because that was just too much. Too much. People, in my eyes, redeemed themselves or attempted to redeem themselves. Some people got worse. It's all good. Some people didn't change too much, but they kind of started understanding within themselves other characters. My big thing was by Mara talking her shit. Like, these guys were being cryptic with her and the other girls, the other female keepers, and that wasn't okay. That was not okay. And then when they finally decided to make things clear, it was like, no, y'all made all these choices and these decisions and didn't think about how that actually affects me or us. And I forget the woman on the ship, the barge, I forget her name, but her at the end being like, no, none of you little bitches are having a baby before me unless you have somebody who's going to be there to support you. Think about this. Did you see any of these men here to support? Are they worried? Are they in here trying to help? No, they aren't. So think twice before you opening your legs. And I was like, there we go. But also, like, talking to the guys about it, right? Graph and Tax. Also, or, going head to head with her dragon, whose name I'm forgetting right now. But, like, just because you a dragon don't mean you can treat me like shit and do whatever you want. Or make mistakes and then play it off like you did that on purpose. No. I love that so very much. Also, Arlise grew on me. I don't think I mentioned this before, but Arlise reminds me of a character from the Stormlight Chronicles by Brandon Sanderson. Arlise reminded me of Shallan, and I'm glad that she grew on me like Shallan did. Shallan was really annoying in the beginning because of her ignorance. Like, one of the notes I made to myself about halfway through this book was like, not everybody and their mother and the ships and the dragons knowing that this man is gay except Arlise. Like, no, really, girl? So, but that was like the minimum. I appreciate her practicality and whatnot. I have to say I wasn't expecting them to get where they were going, but that's thanks to Tarmin. And I can't say anything else without spoil. So if you want spoilers, check out the live discussion, because I know at the time of filming this, we're going to have the live show tonight, but I know we're going to go in because we've done it for every single other Realm of the Elderling series that we've done. So, yeah, 4.5 stars. I know it's a happy for now. Like, they can't stay there forever. Going back, the letters back and forth with their like interludes between each chapter about these letters via pigeons, and that was cute too. But also there's that gives you an idea of what's going on back in the Rain Wild and back in Bingtown, and like to keep their footing, to keep their hold, and make money, start new lives, and be prosperous, and hold their true selves, and realize their new lives and settle into that, like, it's gonna be difficult when they go back. So I'm hoping, like, people like Hest, what was revealed that he did, he keeps that same energy. Don't come talk to me now, boy. Don't come talk to me now. All right, let me stop because I'm so ready for the live toast tonight. Okay. The next book I finished. Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. This is my first Kennedy Ryan book and I loved it. Okay. So I have to mention it because everybody I told I was reading this was like, read the trigger warnings, read the content warnings. Do so. They are in the beginning of this book. This is an adult romance. This is not at all for kids, though they can go through something similar. We're following Iris, who grew up with mother and aunt who were very much about being with different men to have them take care of them and not really taking care of themselves. She and her cousin, her aunt's daughter, decide they don't want to have that type of life. They're somewhat estranged. Anyway, Iris, has gone to school. She's very much into basketball as not playing, but watching. And she wants to be in sports marketing, so she's in college for that. She's also dating the golden boy of her school, who's, I guess, the most popular white boy at her school, and he's considered one of the best players on their school team. Now, on the other side, we have August, who is playing, I guess, for a rival team at the college level, and the son of a former professional NBA player who tragically died a long time ago in a car crash. They're both mutts or mixed kids, and they meet the night before the I guess NCAA, I think that's what it is, championships. Can you tell that I'm not a big sports person? A big basketball fan? Like, I know, but I can't be 100% sure if it's right. But yeah, so, and they click in a bar. She knows who he is because, he's on TV or whatever, but he doesn't know who she is until after the big game when, come to find out, she's his rival's girlfriend. But the rivalry is not just on the court. He doesn't like the dude's personality. They meet several times over the years as their lives are changing and their careers are not going where they expected at all. Iris finds herself in a really dangerous situation or relationship and doesn't realize quite how bad it is until it's almost too late. And then getting out is damn near impossible. Meanwhile, August has no idea. His career is not going badly, but it's not quite going the way he wants it, and also he still wants Iris, so he's sad about it. He's very cute, very sad puppy. I flew through most of this yesterday. Like, I had read 14 pages on the train, but with, having to wait for the conductor to show my ticket. Like, my train ride wasn't that long. It's like 20 minutes, and then I'm switching to a bus. Right? So, but yesterday, the rest of the 460 pages, or 450 pages, I read all in my days. So, it seems like a chunker. I mean, it is, but it's quick. Alright, so content warnings. I'm just going to read the way she has it. I started writing this book in response to a young woman whose journey with domestic abuse was being played out in the media without much care or compassion. I write when I have something to say, and I knew I couldn't say it from a place of judgment and hypotheticals. So I started talking with women who had walked that path. After interviewing many survivors, conducting a ton of research, and doing a lot of soul searching, I hope I understand better. I hope I wrote this story from a place of grace and compassion that wouldn't have been possible without the generosity and vulnerability of those that with whom I spoke. With that said, this story contains graphic depictions of intimate partner violence not involving the hero or the male main character. Please read reviews for guidance and take care of yourself. I will go one step further because saying this is not like I feel like I'm better than anyone or that I'm dead inside. Domestic abuse, domestic violence is not a trigger for me. I appreciate knowing ahead of time. I think the synopsis hinted very well about it, though. I will say one particular scene caught me by surprise, but I mean that like, oh, I'm not used to seeing that. Not the first time I've seen it, but it, even with books of domestic abuse, this is like another level up. And so I'm gonna spoil that real quick. I'll put a timer so you know when I'm done if you want to mute until then. So there is a scene where Iris is raped at gunpoint and the gun is used on her vagina and vulva threateningly. So this is not cute and sexy in a thrilling kind of way. No, it's very much threatening. She's given a choice of how she'll be raped with or without the gun. Okay, so yeah, I was like, oh. Also, there is other non-sexual violence in here with Iris and her partner, who is not the male main character. I don't want to call him a hero. He's not. August is a regular dude, so like that hero and heroine thing is weird unless we're talking about like somebody saving someone else. But also heroine reminds me of heroin, and somebody tell me if a female hero and the drug are the same word, but are they pronounced differently? And I just never knew or never picked that up. Because, yeah, every time I say, oh, the heroine of the story, I think of the drug. So anyway, that being said, I love this. It feels weird saying that after everything else I just said, but I did. That's why I flew through it. This is one of those books where I had to slow down because I was skimming because I wanted to find out. I wanted to get to the next part, to the next conversation, to the next scenes, to find out what was going on. And I was like, no, read it in full, Lashette. And I read this in a day. I am so picking up the next book to this series because, yeah, I need another series to read. It's Blockshot, and I believe it's starring August's brother, Jared. Yes, Jared. And I feel like there's a sneak peek in the back with the part of the first chapter. I feel like I've read this before. There's like a weird deja vu moment for me, but I'm so into it. I've been hearing about Kennedy Ryan for the longest, and none of my local libraries have many of her books. Definitely not really backlist. They might have more audio, but even not that many, and I don't like reading romance via audio. Poison Ivy, The Virtuous Cycle by G. Willow Wilson. and Marcio Takada and Arif Prianto. First of all, the artwork is perfect for this series. Pamela Isley, this is the new-ish Poison Ivy. So like her story, like many others at DC, kind of rebooted with New 52. It's a comic book. Collected editions here. This is volume 1. I want to read volume 2. When will I get to? I don't know. I also want to read the Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy series, which I did, but this is after that if you've read it. Poison Ivy is on this pseudo vengeance kick against the man who made her like this, and also kind of planning to destroy the world with these mushroom spores and a kind of like natural takedown. There's a lot of soul searching. She's mostly alone on this, and then there's hallucinations with Batman being like the angel on her shoulder, which is so funny because he's in, his all black or black and gray, and then he's like, you probably shouldn't do this. This is not a good idea. Don't you think it's weird that it's me who's talking to you? So, yeah. This is kind of told in a past tense point of view. Like, Pamela is writing letters to Harley Quinn and about what she's done and what happened and her whole journey and everything. It was really interesting. This is issues 1 through 6, and it's a GLAAD Media Award nominated. This is the second thing I've read from G. Willow Wilson. I started the Miss Marvel series. I didn't continue, though I'm interested. I was like, I like this better, but this is also shorter. It's only 6 issues. I'm gonna give it a 4 stars. 4 stars because it was good. This could be boring. It's very introspective. Stuff is happening, but there's not an action scene until the end, really. Again, a lot of introspection, a lot of thinking back about stuff that happened before this, and explaining her thought process and why she's doing what she's doing and how she's feeling, and explaining, environmentalism and eco-terrorism, all of that stuff and more. So it fits with modern times and how, at least for me, you go back and forth like, we humans are destroying the planet, but also like we're part of the planet. We are part of the environment. We're something that grows and dies, and yes, we create things that don't die. They don't follow the cycle of life like everything that natural is, but yeah. And then the back and forth about feeling like a victim but wanting to empower yourself is there as well. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a little slow. Like, it took me a couple of days to read this, but I finished it yesterday after I finished Long Shot because I just had one more issue to get through, and that was quick. The artwork, again, not my favorite, but I felt like it was really good because she was going around and spreading spores. Let me find something that shows that without the without spoilers. There's all these cute little things with Harley Quinn, like thinking back to the times they were together. Very, very cute. Well, like this one down here, I think, yeah, the artwork style really lends itself well to the whole spreading of spores and mushrooms. Basically infecting people. That's one of the images, her and Harley Quinn. So yeah, I love the art in this. So the first book I'm going to talk about is actually part of a kind of challenge I've given myself this year. I didn't create it, but the library edition of these books will self-destruct. And if you want to find out the details about that, go check out my Patreon account. That was a grapefruit tier exclusive video that I have posted. So anyway, book one in that list, A Venom Dark and Sweet by Judy I. Lin. This is book 2 in the Book of Tea duology. Finally. I gave this 3.5 stars. The first book I gave 4.5 stars. And part of the problem may be the fact that I read these two so far apart. I think I read book 1 in January of 2023. Yeah. And I read this May 2024. I had originally finally gotten around to requesting it, I think October 2023, and it might not have been an issue, but I was not in the mood for it. And then I read the synopsis, and that kind of messed it up for me. So book 1 in this, we're following a young lady in a small town in an empire which is being plagued by this poison. Poison, we find out, is in the teas. So her mother is a Shinung Tu, which is a kind of spiritual tea maker, and the magic system in this world is related to tea, at least in the first book. Ning is our main character in book 1, a poison, what? Book 1 is a magic steeped in poison. Yeah, Ning is the eldest daughter of 2, and her mother passes away from this mysterious poison, and shortly thereafter her younger sister gets sick, and the emperor seems to not be doing anything about it until one day their deceased mother receives an invitation to come to the palace in the capital city to participate in this competition to become like the Emperor Shinung Tu, which Ning takes advantage of, pretending she's the one the invitation is for, hoping that when she goes to the capital city, she'll find some kind of antidote. The story continues from there. There's a little bit of a love interest thing happening in the background. It's not the main thing, but it is super slow burn over the course of 2 books. The story continues here. So there's kind of like that YA competition thing that happens in book 1, and I don't remember that. Like I said, the magic system is based off of tea. We're in a ancient Chinese sort of setting. So names, places, tea is all kind of based off of that. And it was really cool. And I knew it was a duology. And I enjoyed the first book immensely because of kind of like that herbal tea thing going on. This takes a different focus. Book 1 basically took place in one area, and this book is taking place all over the country rather than the capital, just the capital city or the Emperor's Palace. There's a lot of traveling in this one, which I don't necessarily mind. I just like, it's like a broader focus. We're pulled back. We're not focusing as much on the tea magic, and there's an explanation for that, a good one, but I was a little disappointed by that, because it made it feel like all of the stuff that I found enchanting with that in book one kind of baseless and useless. Also, I think we could have spent a lot more time fleshing out the end of this. I think the ending was rushed, and I kind of felt that coming, because I was like, we're getting close to the end and we still haven't like confronted the bad guy or like convinced people that this is the bad guy, and then it was over relatively quickly. I don't feel like there was a lot of closure in this for anything. So 3.5 stars. Not that I didn't like it, but it wasn't what I was expecting. That's the last book I'm going to talk about, guys. Leave me some kind of plant emoji down below if you want to support. Leave a comment if you don't know what to say. If you made it this far, like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the notification bell so you know when the next video is coming. And share the video with others so they can enjoy it as well. Links in the description to everything I've mentioned. There is a 10% off discount code to my Etsy shop where I make all natural bath and body products for magical and mundane purposes. There is my Patreon account, which I mentioned earlier. So link, you can check it out if you want to. There are other tiers as well with other awesome content. And there's also my Storygraph and Goodreads if you'd like to follow me there and get like up to the minute updates of where I am in the books. I'm still doing my Remix Classics read along, so you should get updates for that. The content, the readathon and the read-alongs for each individual book are all on Storygraph, where you can join the conversations there. There's also links to my Instagram and Twitter and Amazon wishlist if you'd like to follow me there or send me something. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.